Hey y'all, happy New Year's Eve. Before we go into the new year, I wanted to talk about the mistakes I made on my natural hair journey. And I've learned a lot about my natural hair. I learned what I can and cannot do with my hair, but mostly what I can't do with my hair. I've made a lot of mistakes, especially over the last 2 or 3 years. I wanted to talk about it in this video, and hopefully you won't make the same mistakes as I did, because it's been a hard ass lesson, okay? Losing inches and inches of hair. And if you want to avoid that, then stay tuned. So the first mistake that I made was bleaching my hair. And I know, I've said on Instagram, oh, my hair is still so healthy. Bullshit, okay? My hair was so damaged by the bleach. I bleached my hair for the first time in 2017. And before that, my hair had been thriving. But of course, I'm a self-sabotager, okay? I've learned that about myself. I sabotage myself, and I bleached my hair. And I over-bleached it, and over-bleached it, and over-bleached it because I wanted to get to a very light color, so eventually dye my hair pink, but whatever. So I over-bleached it, sometimes bleaching it way too much in 1 month because I wanted to get it to a certain color. My hair stayed orange for a long time, so I kept bleaching it, and I should have just realized then that bleach just wasn't for me. My hair just wasn't going to get to the color that I wanted. So eventually I got to a color, not really ever the color that I wanted, but it was bleach, and it was fried and dyed and not so much laid to the side. So I'm not saying bleaching your natural hair is bad, but from my fine natural hair, from my low porosity hair, and also with low porosity, it was just really hard for bleach to penetrate into my strands. My hair is just almost impossible. It's impenetrable, whatever. It's hard for shit to penetrate into my hair, and I wanted to make it happen for me, and it just didn't. But I kept going and kept going. So bleaching is definitely something I don't want to say I regret, because everything has made me the woman that I am today, and my hair is now thriving. Hello. Thriving because of the mistakes that I made and the lessons that I learned. But if I could choose 1 of 5 mistakes, bleaching my hair is one of them. Right now my hair is kind of blue with the bleach that's left over, but it's hard to tell unless I'm in the light. But after this color is done, I'm not going to bleach or color my hair, even though I do prefer color on me. This dark hair, honestly, y'all, ain't doing it for me. I prefer myself with lighter hair, but I do want to get to booty crack length hair, so I just have to suck it up. And I wear wigs a lot anyway, so I don't know why I'm tripping about my natural hair color when you can wear a wig and have any color under the sun, okay? So yeah, coloring though for me in my household is a no. This is a mistake. I can't believe I did. I over trimmed, and that may sound like impossible because I think a lot of times naturals hold on to length, but not me. I get obsessive, and I want my hair to be optimally healthy, and I go in and I overdo the shit and I over trim my hair. And over the course of 2017, I was just trimming and convincing myself that my hair was so thin, it needs to trim, and it's look bad. So every few months, my hair was growing like hell, because in 2017 I started to work out every day. You can't tell, but I went to the gym all the time, and that really helped my hair growth, and my hair was just blossoming and just booming. But I was just trimming every 2 or 3 months, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inches. Every few months I'd have some reason to cut my hair, and I've learned since then I hardly ever trim now. Only when my ends look super bad or the single strand knots are getting out of control, and trying to, of course, cut out the bleach is why I trim my hair. Now it's not on a regimen, right? It's just how my hair feels, and I really analyze my hair, and I'm not going crazy like I used to, because you can end up losing so much of your hair length because you're over trimming and just doing the most. Stop doing the most in 2019. So speaking Speaking of single strand knots, one thing that has really hurt me over the course of my journey, not just within the last 2 or 3 years, is being obsessed with single strand knots. And don't get me wrong, every now and again I'll just be like, bruh, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it. Okay, I'm still obsessed, but being obsessed with single strand knots is the reason you're not retaining length and your hair is not prospering. We have to realize, and I have to do this too, that kinky, curly, and curly hair is going to have single strand knots, especially when your strands are fine, because that's just how our hair is. It just does this, it loves up on each other, and it tangles, and a single strand starts to wrap around itself because of the curls and coils and kinks, and there's not. So don't be obsessed. If you're like me, don't be obsessed with trying to trim every single strand knot. You just gotta let it go, okay? Because you can't do it. So don't obsess over it. Do the best you can. Make sure your ends are healthy. But every single strand knot, there's no way you can cut and trim every single one out of your head. Because you know what? You're gonna go outside, your hair is gonna rub on your shirt, or your jacket, or whatever, and it's going to have a single strand knot again. And you're just gonna be bald with no hair and sit on single strand knots. You're gonna be bald headed with single strand knots, and that don't even make sense, okay? A huge mistake, and I think y'all know this because I had a few videos on this. A mistake that I made was not being careful with heat. Now listen to me. There's no danger in using heat. Using heat with curly hair doesn't necessarily mean heat damage. But for me and my households, I have stayed away from heat since I got heat damage in 2015. So May 2019, will be 4 years that I haven't used heat. My hair should have been down my ass right now, okay? But I've made all of these mistakes which have prevented me from doing so, but my hair is coming back, okay? Yes, staying away from heat is something that I have to do. It's not something that you have to do, because what works for me doesn't necessarily what works for you. But heat damage is a real thing, and I wasn't careful with heat. I didn't realize how fine and damage prone my own natural hair was, so I just used heat like whatever. Hey, blow dry hair, flat iron hair, do this, do that, overhead dryer, all this crap. It's not for me. I was not careful with heat, and he said, "Oh yeah? You playing games? You trying to test me?" And then I was left with heat damage, and I had to cut about 10 inches of my hair. And then a year later or two, I bleached the hell out of my hair, and now I gotta do the same thing and cut, oops, hit the mic, and gotta cut about 10 inches of my hair again. Of course, I've been transitioning out of the bleach, but whew, y'all, hopefully this is the last mistakes damage video I ever do in my life, okay? But knowing me, so the final mistake that I made, actually it's not the final mistake, but it's the last mistake I'm gonna let y'all know about in this video, was and is long-term protective styling. And before you go in my comments like a little online keyboard gangster talking about weaves are life, protective style for life, weaves grew my hair, long hair don't care, crochet braids, like, before you do all that, I love weaves, I love crochet braids, but what I've realized over the course of the 8 years that I've been natural, that crochet braids thinned my hair out. Never in the history of my natural hair has my hair been this lush and thick. And it's because I've stayed away, from the most part, from weaves and crochet. When early on in my journey, I wore a lot of crochet braids, especially when I got heat damage, and the summer after that, I stayed in crochet braids. And what I didn't realize then is that it had thinned my hair out. And even a year ago, when I had taken on my crochet braids, I was trying to grow my hair out, I wanted to know, like, why are my ends so thin? Like, this amount of ends were so thin. And then I was like, bruh, it's the crochet braids. I don't know the science behind of it. I think it's just the stress from the I don't even braid tight, and I do my own crochet braids. I don't even braid tight, but just the stress of cornrows. I also think my hair doesn't like cornrows because, again, it's so fine, and I have to be so careful because it easily breaks. It don't take shit for my hair to break. It just thinned my hair out. So yeah, my hair was growing and it was thriving, and if you pull it, it was super long, but it was thin as hell. It wasn't this lush, it wasn't this big, it was thin. And this is still shrunken hair, okay? This is not my hair optimally stretched. As soon as my hair stretch, it goes right back into a fro, okay? But yeah, crochet braids and weaves thin my hair out, and I know that's not something that is commonly said a lot, especially when it comes to crochet braids. We hear about weaves messing up your edges, but it's not just about your edges. Weaves and crochet braids can also thin your hair out. Like, it happened to me. I can only speak for myself. I'll put in a clip of like what my hair looked like a few years ago and what it looks like now. Like, wow. You know, it's a huge difference. In a matter of 2 or 3 years, in terms of the thickness. The length is so trash because I've done a lot of cutting, but the thickness, my hair is so much thicker, so much more lush because I've given up on the long-term protective styling. But yes, y'all, this video has been long enough. These are the mistakes, or some of the mistakes that I've made on my natural hair journey. I would love to know what mistakes you made and what things you're staying away from, whether that be color, protective styling, heat, whatever. Let's discuss it down below. Y'all know I always respond to comments. Let's engage. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you so much, and I will see y'all in 2019. Bye, y'all. Peace.